the age of September 9th, the door of the soul is opened. The date of September 9th is not simply a symbol of time, but also a symbol of deep spirituality. In Indian mysticism and other world spiritual traditions, the number 9 represents completion, a full cycle, and the beginning of a new level of soul awareness. Mahavatar Babaji, the immortal master, the embodiment of infinite wisdom, once taught, when a person touches the number 9, he has reached the point of completion of a karmic cycle, and at the same time opens the door to a higher cycle of the soul. In today's era, humanity is undergoing a great shift. From the darkness of ignorance, fear, and division to the light of love, awareness, and unity. That is the age of soul awakening. And in this journey, the 12 enlightened messages from Mahavatar Babaji are the guiding light. These 12 messages are not simply philosophies to read, but keys to living, to opening the door to the inner self, to tapping into the power that is inherent in each person. We will go through each message, from fundamental cosmic principles to profound practical instructions, to realize that every spiritual journey, in the end, is about self-realization and union with God. Message 1: Everything begins with breath. Babaji's teachings. Babaji once emphasized, when man forgets his breath, he has forgotten himself. Return to the breath, for the breath is the thread that connects you to God. Breath in Kriya Yoga is not only the exchange of air in the body, but also the flow of prana, the cosmic life force operating through each cell. The practitioner, when he knows how to observe and control his breath, will no longer be caught up in the chaotic flow of the mind, but will enter the space of stillness and wisdom. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna also taught, "He who knows how to control his breath, control his mind, he has entered the state of yoga, united with me." This is the first principle. All enlightenment begins with the awareness of breathing. Modern people often run after a fast pace of life, but breathe shallowly and quickly. At that time, the mind is more easily agitated, the energy is more easily disturbed. Babaji advises, spend a few minutes every day just breathing consciously. Inhale to feel the light of God, exhale to let go of all stress and fear. Practical application. Every morning, before starting work, sit still for 9 minutes. Inhale slowly, exhale gently, feel the energy filling your body. When facing pressure, return to your breath. Just 3 slow breaths, your mind will return to tranquility. In every Kriya meditation, breathing is the door to the state of unity. Message 2: The body is the temple of the soul. Babaji's teachings. He taught, do not regard the body as a burden, nor as a goal. See it as a temple where the soul resides. Keep the body pure, and the soul will shine. In the Upanishads, the human body is described as a kshetra, a field. This field needs to be cared for and preserved so that the soul seed can germinate. When people live a loose life, letting the body get caught up in unwholesome habits, overeating, addiction, anger, etc., the field becomes barren, making it difficult for the soul seed to grow. Babaji emphasized the balance between body, mind, spirit. Practitioners do not deny the body, but know how to turn the body into a tool to serve the journey of awakening. Practical application. Mindful eating, choose clean foods, less violence, more vital energy, vegetables, fruits, seeds. Eat mindfully, not in a hurry. Physical exercise, practice asanas, pranayama, walk in nature to keep the body supple and full of vitality. Maintain purity, avoid harmful habits, alcohol, stimulants, excessive lust. When the body is kept as a temple, the light of the soul will spread easily, and the practitioner can walk more quickly on the path of union with God. Message 3. The Divine Sound, Nada Brahma. Babaji's teachings. The universe began with sound. Sound is the source, the rhythm of life. When man hears the sound within, he hears the call of God. In the Indian tradition, the concept of Nada Brahma means God is sound. The primordial sound Om is the first vibration that gave birth to the universe. Babaji taught that everyone carries the sound Om within, but because of the noise of the mind, they do not realize it. When the practitioner enters deep meditation, the mind calms down, he will begin to hear the soundless sound, the hum of the soul, the vibration of the universe in his own veins. That is the call to return. Practical application. Chant Om every day. When you wake up or before you go to sleep, chant Om 9 times. This sound will adjust your energy frequency, harmonizing body, mind, spirit. Listen to silence. When sitting still, pay attention to the silence between 2 breaths. In that silence, you will hear the sound of life. Spiritual music. Use mantra, kirtan, bhajan as a means to elevate the soul, bringing consciousness into the flow of the universe. Message 4. The Principle of Karma, the Unchanging Law of Karma. Babaji's teachings. Every seed sown in the field of the universe will bear fruit. Not even the smallest action is lost. Karma is the great teacher, leading man from ignorance to wisdom. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna teaches Arjuna, no good deed is lost, nor any evil deed leaves no trace. As you sow, so shall you reap. This is the foundation for man to understand that spiritual evolution is not a random gift, but the result of continuous sowing. Babaji emphasizes, karma is not a punishment, but an opportunity to learn. When a person encounters difficulties, instead of complaining, ask yourself, what is the message of this lesson? What does my soul need to learn from this experience? It is the attitude of awareness towards karma that helps us transform it. Practical application. Observe the reaction. When encountering suffering, do not rush to blame life. Look inside to see what karma is operating. Transform with love. Respond to hatred with compassion. Respond to hurt with forgiveness. That is the fastest way for karma to dissolve. Kriya Yoga is like an express train. Babaji taught that Kriya Yoga shortens the cycle of karma, like an express train carrying the soul through countless lessons in a short time. Message 5. The self-awareness is the door to liberation. Babaji's teachings. I am not the body, I am not the mind, I am not the emotions. I am the unchanging self, the pure light, existing in eternity. The Upanishad asserted, Tat Tvamasi, thou art thou. That is, the human soul is identical with Brahman, the absolute reality. Ignorance makes us identify with the body and mind, which gives rise to suffering. Babaji taught that self-realization is the goal of every spiritual journey. When a person lets go of all false shells, realizing that he is the true self, unborn, undying, then liberation is achieved right in the middle of life. Practical application. Observation meditation. Instead of identifying with thoughts, sit still and observe the mind operating. Slowly, you will realize that the observer is separate from thoughts. Self-inquiry mantra. Ask yourself, who am I, whenever your mind wanders. This question does not need to be answered intellectually, but is to open the door to the self. Live as light. In every action, remember that you are not the doer, but only the stream of consciousness of God manifesting. Message 6. Selfless Service, Karma Yoga of the Awakened Soul. Babaji's teachings. When you serve others without expecting anything in return, you are in tune with the universal law. Selfless service is the highest form of meditation. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna tells Arjuna, "Act, but do not cling to the results." Action as service, without expecting any reward, is the path to liberation. Babaji reminds us that love is not just a feeling, but must be expressed in concrete actions to help others. When a soul awakens, they no longer ask, "What is in it for me?" but, "What benefit can I bring to this world?" Practical application. Service in everyday life, helping a stranger, sharing a smile, listening with compassion, all are karma yoga. Spiritual service, sharing knowledge, praying for humanity, sending loving energy to places of suffering. Turn your work into service, whether you are a teacher, a driver, or a housewife. See everything you do as a dedication to God. Message 7. Nature, the mirror of the universe. Babaji's teachings. If you want to know God, look into nature. Trees, mountains, rivers, the sky, all are living scriptures. In the Vedic scriptures, nature is always seen as a direct manifestation of Brahman. The sun represents the light of knowledge, rivers represent the endless flow of life, and trees represent the ability to grow continuously. Babaji often resides in the Himalayas because that is where the most primitive energy is preserved. He teaches that modern man has lost his connection with nature and thus lost his connection with his soul. Only by returning to the natural rhythm, breathing the fresh air, walking on the ground, listening to the wind, can we listen to the heartbeat of the universe within ourselves. Practical application. Meditate in nature. Spend time sitting under a tree, by the sea, or on a mountain to feel oneness. Live in harmony, eat seasonal foods, reduce consumption, protect the environment. These are also spiritual acts. Learn from nature. Observe a blooming flower to learn about relaxation. Observe a flowing river to learn about flexibility. Message 8. Love is the universe law. Babaji's teachings. There is no power above love. Hatred, fear, power, all collapse before pure love. He who lives in love lives in God. In all spiritual traditions, love is seen as the source and the end. The Bhagavad Gita teaches, "He who loves me with pure love, I am in him and he in me." Babaji often emphasized that love is not just a romantic feeling, but a state of being, an energy that unites all beings in a cosmic rhythm. Love is the fundamental law of operation. All things are born, exist, and evolve through love. When people lose love, they fall into ignorance, competition, and division. But when they return to love, they reconnect with the universe and with their own souls. Practical application. Practice compassion. Start with small things. Bless others. Forgive mistakes. Open your heart to strangers. Let go of judgment. Instead of rushing to judgment, see the suffering behind the other person's actions. Love is healing energy. When meditating, visualize your heart radiating warm golden light, enveloping the world. Message 9. Silence, the language of God. Babaji's teachings. Go to silence, for in silence you will hear the voice of God. A noisy mind will never perceive the truth. The Upanishads teach that Brahman cannot be described in words, because all words are limited compared to the infinite. Silence is the only language that can contain the infinite. Babaji often meditated in long silences. Silence is not the absence of sound, but the inner space where there is no more delusion. It is in this space that intuition, wisdom, and the light of God arise. Practical application. Daily silent meditation. Sit for 15 minutes without saying or doing anything, just listening to the presence. A moment of pause. Before reacting, breathe and fall into silence for a few seconds. You will see wisdom more clearly. Create a quiet space. Reduce the noise in your life. Less devices, less news, more nature to calm your mind. Message 10. Time is an illusion, eternity is now. Babaji's teaching. The past is dead, the future has not yet come. Only the present is life. Whoever lives in the present has entered eternity. In Vedanta philosophy, the concept of Maya, illusion, pervades all phenomena, including time. Babaji taught that time exists only in the mind, while the soul is beyond all concepts of past and future. Humans often live in memories or expectations, and thus lose the only moment that is real. The present moment. Only when we awaken do we see that the present contains all eternity, all experiences, all potentials, all gods. Practical application. Mindfulness of every action. When eating, just know that you are eating. When walking, just know that you are walking. Let go of the past, let go of the future. Write down on paper what you are still troubled or worried about, then let go. Meditate on the present moment. Breathe in, know that you are breathing in. Breathing out, know that you are breathing out. Nothing else is needed. Message 11. Unity of religions, one truth, many paths. Babaji's teachings. Religions are different rivers, but they all flow into the same ocean. Those who cling to the river are divided, those who see the ocean are united. Babaji is an embodiment of all religious boundaries. He reaches out to and enlightens practitioners from many different cultures because he knows that truth does not belong to any particular religion. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, "All spiritual paths, however different, ultimately lead to me." This is the principle of unity. Buddhism calls it nirvana, Christianity calls it the kingdom of heaven, Hinduism calls it moksha, but the essence is just to return to the absolute reality. Practical application. Respect all traditions, learn the essence of each religion instead of fighting. Find the common denominator, love, compassion, truth, always present in all scriptures. Practice unity. When praying or meditating, be aware that you are joining all souls in search of light. Message 12. Enlightenment is the heritage of every soul. Babaji's teachings. Do not think that enlightenment is the privilege of a few sages. Enlightenment is the birthright of every soul. All are born to return to the light. For centuries, people have believed that enlightenment is only for hermits in the mountains or rare masters. But Mahavatar Babaji broke that illusion. He appeared to affirm that every soul carries the seed of light, and the task of life is to unfold that seed. Bhagavad Gita also declares, "In every living being, I am the divine seed." That is, no one is excluded from the journey of enlightenment. The common man, the sinner, the weak, with just a spark of true desire, can also set out on the path of return. Babaji teaches, this 9-9 era is the era of collective awakening. Enlightenment is no longer an individual experience, but a common awakening of humanity. When one soul awakens, thousands of other souls will be awakened, like a flame passing from one candle to another. Practical application. Believe in your inner potential, do not belittle yourself, Believe that you carry the same immortal light as the Masters. Starting with small steps, a minute of meditation, an act of love, a word of forgiveness, all are steps on the path to enlightenment. Conclusion: a call for the era of 9 ninths, the era of awakening the soul. Dear souls walking in this turbulent century, listen to the call from Mahavatar Babaji, the immortal master of love and light. He comes to remind us that we are already light, already children of eternity. The 9-9 era has no more room for collective sleep. This is the time for humanity to awaken together, to see the truth that we are not separate from each other, but are all waves in the same ocean of consciousness. This is the time to leave behind hatred, fear, division, and together build a civilization based on love, wisdom, and unity. Mahavatar Babaji invites you. Come back to your breath, where God resides. Take care of your body as the temple of your soul. Plant with love, live in silence, be present, and serve selflessly. Remember, enlightenment is not far away. Enlightenment is right here, within you. The new era has begun. The era of soul awakening. Are you ready to walk through the door with Mahavatar Babaji? Namaste.